Hi and welcome to Little Hatchlings Art Lessons. I'm Sarah Hatch and today we are drawing a Galapagos tortoise. They're really cool. They kind of look like Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda, right?
Mm-hmm. Because he is one.
He is one, okay.
And I failed like a bazillion times.
Yeah, we're trying again, huh? Because sometimes your first time drawing it doesn't always work out and you learn how to draw it better the second time. So don't give up if it's not turning out the way you want it to. So all you'll need for this is a Sharpie, and then you can color in with markers or whatever you have. So we are gonna get started. To start out, we're gonna do the shell first. To do the shell, you wanna leave room for the head, which is right here, okay? And then the shell, you make a little line over, and then you want to make a line up. The top of the tortoise shell kind of has ridges. So this is the first ridge. We've done the first ridge. Now we need to angle up for the topmost part of his shell ridge. And then it angles over for a little bit and then back up. And then it goes down at an angle to the back part of its shell. So go over. Yeah, keep going over a little further. Okay, and now this is kind of a ridge too, so it comes back a little bit. Or just come straight down. Good. And then the bottom part of its shell comes out like that. Good. Okay, so now it goes in like that, and then it angles down, and then up and stop. You can go a little bit further with a curve. Kind of curve it.
That?
Yeah, okay. So now we're gonna go up here. So this is where his neck is. And we're gonna be coming down at an angle and then over and then down again at an angle. And this is like where it's gonna go around his shoulder. So it's gonna be curving back inward. And now we're gonna complete the bottom of the shell at that angle. And it can be just like that. Perfect. Cool shell. Okay, so now there's like a shaded portion underneath the shell. So when it's coming up, we're gonna divide it into several sections. So there's the first section. Here's the next section. And you go a little higher, actually.
Like this side?
Yeah. And you don't want it to be too like geometrical. You want it to be more organic. Does that make any sense?
No.
So their shells aren't like perfect shapes. They have like kind of curvy lines to connect them all. Okay, so since it's the bottom of the shell, we're gonna be filling those two sections in, and then just right next to it, we're just leaving, you know, a white line in between it. We're gonna draw another sort of square. You don't want it to be too squarish. You have like a diagonal line. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So you make a shape like that. And go over. A little further, a little further. Good. And then fill that in. And then the last section, you want to continue that diagonal. Okay, there we go. So that's the bottom part of the shell. And you just want to leave empty lines in between that. So these are the only ones we're going to shade in right now because they're the ones like that are not having the light cast on them. Okay, next thing we're going to do is this pattern right here. So this pattern has longer rectangle type of shapes and they meet up with the bottom of the shell. So I'm going to do 4 of them.
I'm going to try and do 4 if I can fit them all.
Yeah, mine's not fitting super well. But you can make them skinny. And that last one just goes off the edge like that. Perfect. Good job. Okay, so now this section, we're going to have a line right above that last rectangle. And then it's going to go up and in just a little bit and then over. And then it's going to connect over there. Good. Okay. And then this section is bigger. It's gonna go along above those 3 and then up. And then it's gonna actually angle up and then back down and then curve back down like that. Cool. And these don't have to be perfect. They're, like I said, organic shapes, so they're not, it's not a big deal if you don't have it exactly like I'm having it. So we're following the lines from over there because it creates this white line. Like that. Cool, good job. Okay, and so now right here, actually let's do these lower ones. So you see where these 2 white spaces are? We're gonna have shapes filling in that area. So you make that shape right above that one. And then you're gonna make this shape right above this one. And you wanna go over and then up and then back down so that it makes a cool shape. Good. Okay, so now I'm gonna fill in this area with a big shape up here. So kind of follow those lines that you already have and create a shape. Yep, so go over. What you doing? So go over and then down. Good. Okay, perfect. Okay.
That's the biggest shell piece and it's not big enough.
It's okay. You can make new, bigger ones next to it. That's the cool thing. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine.
So
Okay.
can I just rearrange?
Yeah. If yours isn't turning out exactly like mine, make this your own. It's totally fine. You just want to make sure you're keeping lines in between the shapes, these white lines, because that's what gives it the cool turtle shell and it'll make it easier to color later. So I'm making another big shape over here. So this is like the top part of its shell. So I kind of want it to be in the middle of that one. And this one right next. And leave a little space. for this last shell. Very cool, I like your shell. That's good. And now we're gonna do the head. So like I said before, angles like that. So we're gonna draw a line going up just a little bit, and then a curve, and then another curve, and then we're gonna start angling up this way. So now we're gonna go a bump up, and then another bump up. Cool, good job. So now we're gonna come down because it actually kind of makes a beak looking thing. And do kind of a dotted line as you get over to this part. Very nice. The chin, you can make like a dotted line angling in, and then another line going down. This is like a shadow part of his chin. He's got lots of wrinkles all over his skin. He's a really wrinkly old turtle. And then we want his eye right here under this top ridge. And then you can make little tiny dots around it, little tiny lines. You just, if you're using a Sharpie, really lightly, just lightly go around it. Try hardly to touch it at all to make these little shadows. Cool, that looks good, buddy.
Yeah, but look how thick mine is.
That's okay. When we start coloring it in, it'll hardly show up, okay? Because the turtle has so many wrinkles, it's just gonna look like one of his wrinkles. So don't you worry. Okay, so now his neck tapers in. So the way we're gonna do that, we're gonna curve down like that. And then inwards, and then down. Just like that. That's a good neck. Good job. Okay, so now we want to draw his underneath shell. It comes up here. And it makes this shape. And then there's like a little extra section right back here that meets up with it too. Cool, good job. And then I'm gonna draw some of his neck shadow right above that, because this is a really wrinkly part. And then this shadow is really strong too, underneath his shell. And then we've got some folds right here of skin. And this is all shadow too. We'll do more of the shadow when we're coloring, yeah. Okay, so this leg angles over and then curves down, but goes pretty much straight down. And then this side angles in towards it. And their feet remind me of dinosaur feet. They just kind of like look like Brachiosaurus feet to me. So let's just draw some toes down there. And there are scales all over right here. We're gonna do the scales when we color. But the scales you can make just by making little U shapes if you want to. Okay, so from right in the middle part of this lower shell, we're gonna angle down and then back over. Are you watching?
Yeah.
and then stop up here. So you don't go all the way as far down as the other leg. Yeah, right there. Good job. And then you're gonna make the feet with the toe markings. And then a little ridge of skin right here. And then you wanna go up at an angle, and then up straight, and then diagonal over. Then we can draw some of his toe markings. Cool. Nice. All right, last thing, and then we can color, is the back two legs. So let's draw the front of the back two legs first. Make a hook shape. Well, you angle out and then down, and then you go out just a little bit more. And then you come around to the left, and then up and rounded. And then we're gonna make some folds of the skin. And we're gonna draw some toes in there. And then the back leg, it's just right behind it, but a little higher up. Angle it like that. And then you can make some toe ridges here also. Okay, so there's lots of wrinkles in the back legs, scales in the front legs.
We should do the wrinkles with the mark.
You want to do it with the black? Okay.
Yeah.
So they go along like this. Good. And there's some wrinkles right here that might be good with the black marker too. And then right here also, there's a wrinkle that goes right down. Okay. Awesome. Okay, now we'll turn it to time lapse and color it.
We are using markers of various different shades of brown, and the dark browns help show the different patterns within the shell and on the legs with the scales. So go ahead and pause the video if you want to be able to use this as a reference.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you had fun, and we'd love to see how yours turns out.
We hope that you'll watch our other videos.
Yeah, and subscribe so you don't miss future videos.
Yeah.
Bye!